Hello, hello, hello. This is Adelaide Brown, your heart coach, and I want to welcome you to some Heart Talk with Adelaide Brown on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon. Shout out to everyone in the Heart Tribe. I told you guys that I wanted to go live and share what was on my heart and just really connect with y'all and just let you know that I am here. I can honestly admit that when I get into my day to day routines and journeys, sometimes I get in a space where I'm like, you know what? I just want to tap in and see how the Heart Tribe is doing. Because I know that sometimes I just need people to tap in with me throughout the day and encourage and uplift me. And that's what I wanted to do with you. We are focused on growing and building heart equity. What is heart equity? Personal, relational, and financial wealth through authentic living. Wealth is not just about money. Wealth is about your resources. Wealth is about your countenance. Wealth is about your relationships. And I truly believe that those that are wealthy, it supersedes money. And if you're going to have a life that you thoroughly enjoy, if you're going to have a life that you feel good about waking up every morning, you're going to want to make sure that you're focused on generating and building wealth in your life and in the lives of those that you are connected to. With that being said, I talk a lot about authentic living. That's a very big uh, catchphrase for me. It is really a way of living and a way of being that I myself have adopted and really focused myself on wanting to make sure that I'm showing up as authentically as possible, even if showing up authentically doesn't necessarily look as prim and proper and polished as I would have typically liked for it to be. That when we are trying to be perfect, that it is one of the biggest barriers to authenticity. And when I talk about authentic living, I'm talking about authentic living in three specific areas, which I truly believe encompasses your entire life. So, what is authentic living? Well, the definition of authentic, just a simple definition, it's an adjective and it is of undisputed origin. It's genuine. So, if something is authentic, it is the origin not disputed. It is genuine, meaning that you don't have to question the quality, you don't have to question the presentation. You understand that it is what it is presenting itself to be. And when I think about something being genuine, I think about something being real and true and right. When I think about something being genuine, it is sincere, right? It is genuine is defined as truly what something is said to be. It goes back to the word authentic. Authentic. When you're living authentic, you're truly who you are saying you are and who you are presenting yourself to be. So when you are authentically living, you are not a wolf in sheep clothing. When you are authentically living, you are not someone who is wanting to image to everyone and everything, but not necessarily living that image. So the reason why authentic living is so important to me, and I truly believe that that's the mission that God has called me to support and to help fulfill, is because what I realize is life does not respond to what you present. Life does not respond to the image that you try to make up. Life responds to what is genuinely and sincerely there, right? When you bake a cake, if you have ingredients for the cake, let's say you have flour, you have salt, you have sugar, you have eggs, you have baking powder. I don't know, I'm not a baker, I'm just throwing out some ingredients. If you decide that, okay, I know a lot of people are vegan or don't choose to use certain meat or dairy products. So if you decide that you want to authentically bake a cake and you you want to make sure that it is a vegan cake, and I just want to make sure that this comes out right, you're not going to use the recipe that has traditional butter and eggs and milk and cream and whatever else may go into the cake. For this cake to be authentically meatless, authentically without, for it to be a genuine vegan cake, then you need to make sure that you're putting in the ingredients to get out that result. And the reason why you need to live authentically in your life right now is because you're not getting back the results that you would like, because you're not putting in the authenticity that's needed. And what I have found is, out of the heart flows the issues of life. And one of the things that I'm thankful to be a heart coach, and this is really truly honestly a title that I feel like was given to me by God, that was something that the Lord has called me to. This is a mission, this is a ministry. I truly believe that I have been put here to support others as we authentically transform our life, we confront matters of the heart, and we truly get to experience the life of living off of our heart equity. And one of the things that I have found, it is not what you necessarily intend to do. You can't get away from your feelings. That's why authentic living is so important, because how you feel is the trajectory. How you feel is the trajectory that life is going to take with you. For example, for example, when you are in a position that, let's say you're saying, okay, I'm happy in my life, I'm glad where I want to be. Let me break this down better, because sometimes I feel like I get real. Let me give you a specific example. Let's say that you are in your marriage right now. You're in your relationship with your significant other. I'm talking to married people right now. So let's say that you're married, and you know that you've been with your partner for a while, you've been with your husband, you've been with your wife for a while, and you know that you love them. You also know a lot of the struggles that they may have in their lives, like the things that they've been through. You know what they've been through, you know they have a powerful story, so you empathize with them and you love them, and you're very encouraging towards them. But deep down on the inside, you feel some anger, some frustration, some resentment, because you feel like your partner is not showing up for you the way you would like for them to. You do feel abandoned or rejected or not cared for the way you would like in your relationship, but you're not authentically expressing that, because you know what they're going through and you know how they're feeling. You may have a parent that you are in a position where, now that you're older, you and your parent, you're developing a relationship. You're trying to get closer to them. But there's still some questions that you have about growing up, about maybe why didn't certain things happen, or why did certain things happen. Maybe there's some situations that you went through that you want to discuss with your parents, but you don't want to share it, and you're not forthcoming about it, because you don't want to hurt them. You don't want to disappoint them. You don't want to let them down. And what I'm saying, what I'm encouraging you with today, is the fact that you're you're in a situation right now where the your relationships need you to be authentic. Your relationships need you to tell the truth. Your relationships need you to be honest, be genuine, right? Remember, the definition of authentic is of undisputed origin, genuine. And when something is genuine, it is truly saying that it is. And what I have learned is that we have been trained so much in this society and in this culture to be kind and to be nice. And we've been conditioned that telling the truth is not kind, nor is it nice. And what I want to let you know is that is a bold-faced lie, that in this season of life, wherever you are, it is imperative for you to be authentic about what you're feeling, what you're thinking, how you're going through life, because your feelings are the bedrock of your mental and physical health. As a man thinketh, so is he. But the truth of the matter is, a man is going to think on the level that he's feeling. That's why the Bible talks about how the body, the a man can overcome. It's in Proverbs. A man can overcome a sick body, but a sick spirit he cannot overcome. So your physical body can be sick, but if your spirit, if your soul, if your heart, I'm talking about soul care. Authentic living speaks to soul care at the foundation. It speaks to taking care of your heart. What is your heart? Your mind, will, and emotions. You have your spirit. That is the light of your life. That is what allows you to have breath and to have being and to have living. You have the spirit of God in you because you are a triune being. So now you have the spirit of God, and then you have your physical body. That's the second piece. But the third piece, your spirit mixes with your flesh, and the soul, your heart, is what joins these two together, and it makes you. Everything about you is unique. Everything about you is unique, all down to how you feel. And even though there are people like myself and others who can relate to how you're feeling, can even encourage you and uplift you in expressing your feelings and acknowledging your feelings more, you are you. Your feelings are your feelings. And in order for you to get to grow your finances and go get the bag and experience this love and the relationships that you see people presenting so much. But if everybody was really living the lives they were presenting, we would not have such discord. We wouldn't have so much frustration, so much fighting, so much negativity in our world. But it's the lack of authentic living. It's the lack of telling the truth. For example, there are days that I just can't get it together. There are days that I might wake up in the morning, or as I'm going through my day, I may get triggered. I did a training. I'm in a training right now. And last night he described it as an emotional sniper. And I may go throughout my day and be triggered and I may smell a smell. I may hear a song. I may walk into a grocery store and have a certain thought or a certain memory that could come up. And then all of a sudden, I go from being excited, being happy, being encouraged, to feeling down, to questioning myself, to feeling angry or irritable. And what I realize is in those moments, it is imperative for me to live authentically and express myself truly. That's why journaling is so important for me. That's why just writing down, I call it like mental emotional dump, like a heart dump. That's why writing down things are so important to me, because it's a way that I excrete waste out of my being, out of my psyche. Like a lot of people think that when you're relieving waste from your body, or when you're relieving waste from your life, it's only going to come when you go to the bathroom, right? When you sit down and go excrete physical waste. But the type of work that we do, when you're growing heart equity, you are constantly releasing the emotional, mental, spiritual baggage that you have been carrying for so long. Those belief systems that no longer serve you, those thoughts that no longer serve you. There is pain that you're experiencing. And like I used that example, and I said, sometimes I can start off my day fine, and then I'll have certain thoughts that'll come up, certain memories. I'll have a feeling that'll trigger a certain memory. I might hear a song and it might trigger a feeling, and a certain memory could come up. And now all of a sudden, I'm down. I'm frustrated. I'm irritable. I'm second guessing myself. I'm questioning myself. Now I'm frustrated with my husband. Now I'm frustrated with my kids. Now I'm frustrated with myself and my business. And all of this got triggered by one thought. one feeling, one emotion. And this is why it's so important for us to live authentically, because before I would feel that way. I remember when I worked in corporate, my background is in healthcare. I remember working at the doctor's office, and I remember having a rough day at work. And typically, a rough day at work was a day where I didn't feel in control, where I didn't feel like I was the one of the best people in the office, where maybe I dropped the ball, maybe I forgot to do something I needed to do, or I didn't meet the expectations of someone that I wanted to meet their expectations. So that would make me start questioning myself. Now I'm wondering, am I good enough? Am I smart enough? Now I'm questioning, will the dreams that I'm looking to get fulfilled, will they get fulfilled? Now I'm talking about me. But just from one thing going wrong, it's like those emotions just kind of spiral out of control. And that's why authentic living is so important, because when you're authentically living and you're authentically, genuinely, consistently expressing your real emotions, you can get to the truth of why you're feeling that way. So I can make a mistake at work and not have to go down the rabbit hole of not being good enough. And this is why I'm always struggling. And this is why my family doesn't have these things. And this is why I haven't reached this particular goal or achievement that I've been working towards. And I take it all back to that one thing. All of that came from, oh, I forgot to return a patient call, or maybe I didn't get the message to the nurse in time, or maybe I didn't send over a document that I needed to send over. And that might not sound like a big, huge deal to you, but for me, any little thing that I would do that didn't reach my expectations, or didn't reach the expectations of those people and individuals over my lifetime that I've held in high regard, then I would just completely like throw the baby out with the bathwater and just go down this hole of, you're not good enough. You always mess up. It's like that negative self-talk. And the reason why it's so important for you to live authentically, for you to be genuine in your personal life. That's what I'm talking about right now. And in your relationships, is because it absolutely impacts your finances. It absolutely impacts your health. When you're not being authentic about how you feel, that's how we overeat. That's how we have unhealthy lifestyle practices, because you're not being authentic about how you feel. People don't realize how much of eating is emotional. People don't realize even how you eat, how that could be emotional. I know a lot of people who have been working at transforming and changing their lives, myself included. And one of the things that I never realized until I really started working on myself and focusing on authentic living, is the impact that food has on, like, your identity, and how much food is tied into and tapped into your personal identity, or like Myron Golden like to say, your lie identity. For example, I remember when the pandemic started, and I hadn't been eating a lot of fried food. I've been cutting back on fried food, been doing a lot of baking and broiling and things like that. And I remember when the pandemic started and we were all in the house, and I just I started cooking a lot of the foods that my grandmother used to cook. I started cooking things that my grandmother used to cook. And one of the things about that was, as much as I love my grandmother, those foods that I was cooking for comfort, those were not healthy foods, right? I'm just keeping it real with you. So, I mean, chicken can be healthy, but not when it's fried. Eating macaroni and cheese and frying down cabbage with butts meat and bacon grease and all of that stuff, though it is absolutely delicious. Keeping it real, it's not the most healthy for you. But one of the things that taught me in that season, as I was having some quiet time, and I couldn't fit my clothes. Like, I started realizing a couple months into the pandemic that the clothes that I had starting the pandemic were not fitting me as well. And we're talking about, why are people so fake, right? I'm talking about keeping it real, right? So I realized that I felt so out of control with the pandemic. I felt so out of control because there was so much uncertainty and I just did not know what was going on. And because of that, I grabbed on to what was certain and what was comfortable. And instead of being authentic about what I was feeling, like telling myself the truth and um, leaning into the discomfort, I grabbed on to things and situations that allowed me to get a brief sense, a temporary sense of comfort. And I share that with you because this is what authentic living is about. It's about telling yourself the truth. Yes, I could have cooked anything. I could have been making salads. I could have been making celery bolts with peanut butter. I could have been doing all kinds of things, but when I wanted some immediate gratification. And I felt like this is what I want to do. This is what came to mind because I went back to times when I felt comforted. I went back to times when I felt more in control. And typically for me, my grandmother is involved in a lot of those memories because she's such a pillar. That's where Addie comes from, and the Addie BB, because my grandmother's name is Addie. And anything surrounding her when I was uncertain, when I was uncomfortable, I would lean into. Here, hence another reason why my faith is so strong. My grandmother exposed me to Christ. My grandmother, I saw her reading her Bible. I heard her praying and worshiping God when she would be outside in the yard and just moving through the house. It was not my grandmother's faith in God and her relationship with God was not rehearsed. It was not something that was perfect, but it was definitely authentic and it was present in everything that she did. And I feel like one of the things that I gained comfort from her was in her watching and modeling her relationship with God. And I tell people all the time that when she transitioned, that's when I really developed my relationship with God because I had idolized and put my grandmother on such a level that like right up there next to Jesus himself because she exposed me to Christ. And we're talking about why authentic living is so important. And so what I realized was when I went back to the doctor and I was up 15, 20 pounds from where I was pre-COVID, I had to be real with myself. And I needed to exercise and I needed to eat right, but I also needed to get to the bottom of why I wasn't doing it. And I wasn't doing it because sometimes we get so overwhelmed and we feel so out of control and we get so frustrated that we don't get curious within ourselves. We just start grabbing for control. And I knew that I could have done other things. I could have been eating differently. I could have been exercising and moving my body more. But those things did not feel like they would be comfortable. Right? They didn't I wanted immediate instant gratification and that's authentic. I also understand how getting instant gratification can end up being detrimental to you long term. Authentic living isn't about getting a neat, tidy, buttoned up answer and a solution to the problem every time. Authentic living is about being honest about who you are and where you are. Authentic living is like constantly checking into your GPS and finding out your current location. Authentic living is you finding at all times what your current location is. And the reason why it's so important for you to always know what your current location is so that you can always be clear on where you're going. It's also great so that you can also be clear on where you've been. And what I find is that we live in a world that does not encourage authentic living. It causes you to fake it, encourages you to fake it until you make it. It encourages you to live life in this cookie cutter world where everyone should fit into this mold or fit into this group. And if you don't fit into this group, then you should fit into this one. And if you don't do this, then you should do that. And if you don't live here, then you should live there. And I just want you to know that we serve an infinite God, especially those of us who are believers. But understand that you were created by an infinite God where there's no limitation been placed on you. And what I feel like 2024 is all about, and I try to stay away from those cliches and those trendy rhyming terms when it comes to the new year. But I truly believe that less is more in 2024. Less is more in 2024. And I truly believe that authentic living is less. For example, when you look at ice cream, some of the ice cream that we're talking about, Haagen-Dazs, and how Haagen-Dazs ice cream is more expensive, right? Okay. Than a lot of the typical ice cream brands. Haagen-Dazs ice cream is more expensive. However, Haagen Haagen-Dazs ice cream also has less ingredients in it. So the thing that's most genuine, the thing that's most authentic, it has less ingredients in it, but it's typically going to cost you more. It's typically going to cost more. So if you go to the grocery store and get your typical grocery store brand, or even your fancy brands that are pretty common, I won't get into calling names, or wherever you from, you may have certain ice creams that you like. When you look at somebody like Haagen-Dazs or other more natural or organic brands, the ice cream typically tastes, I mean, superb, delicious. It has less ingredients, which I truly believe enhances the taste, but it's more costly. It's going to cost you more. And that's what authentic living is like. Authentic living is you putting in less ingredients. It's going to taste so much better, but it's going to cost you more. It's going to cost you your old identity, like Myron Golden says. It's going to cost you your identity. It's going to cost you your current way of eating. It's going to cost you your current appetite. It's going to cost you many of your current relationships. When you decide to live authentically, you're going to be surprised at all the people you thought you were really rocking with, and they were your allies and they were on your team. You're going to find out that the minute you start being authentic, being more genuine, you're going to find out that not as many people rocking with you and on your team as you thought. Why is that? Because the more you cut back, when you need less, when less is more for you, then it starts to expose, how unnecessary it is for you to have all that extra stuff. And I'm gonna use like makeup for example. I was looking at a post, and I understand that my post, and when I'm looking at things, it's the algorithm is going to be set up for what I look at. And I was laughing at that because I was scrolling through a friend of mine's timeline not too long ago, and I was laughing because I was like, I don't ever see any of this stuff on my timeline. And then it made me laugh, and I said, okay, because we're into different things. So her timeline looks like what she's into, my timeline looks like what I'm into. So on this particular timeline, there was a post, and it was like two women, and it was like one woman that had just a very natural presentation. Her hair was natural. She didn't have any extensions, any braids, anything. It appeared that she did not have on any makeup. She was beautiful. She was gorgeous. She just looked very natural and serene. And then there was another woman who was absolutely beautiful and gorgeous, but she had on the long hair, like I like to call long hair don't care. She had on the wig, she had on the makeup, she had on the lashes, she just had on the more made up, dressed up look, not as natural as the other young woman. And in the post it said that, believe it or not, most men would prefer the natural woman. And I can't remember if she was on the left or right side, but let's, for the sake of the story, he was like, believe it or not, most men would prefer the right side of this photo. But the way society makes it, everybody wants the made up doll baby, Barbie doll look. And there's nothing wrong with that. Let me be clear. But that presentation is not authentically who you are. Authentically who you are is you with no makeup, you with nothing added to your hair, you just showing up bare who you are, right? Like the thing that like I have on makeup right now. I have on lipstick, right? I did some things to my hair this morning or whatever. I have nails. Now I'm not slighting anybody that's not quote unquote completely natural or not. But the point that I'm making is many people get made up and put all of those layers on in life because they feel like that authentic base layer, that genuine coating is not enough. And when you feel like who you are on the inside and who you're presenting is not enough, and you need to add layers and you need to add enhancements, what happens is subconsciously you're reminding your subconscious that I am not enough. And so life is going to keep bringing you back not enough. So you wonder why you put so much effort into getting things done, into your image. You put so much effort into your career. You put so much effort into your family. You put so much effort into this presentation of these things. The look of it, you have the makeup on, you have the dress on, you have the garb on. So you're presenting a certain way, but you don't believe that about yourself. You don't feel that about yourself. And you're wondering why you're not getting back authentic results. This is the year of you being genuine. This is the year of less is more. What is authenticity? It is being your real, genuine self. So if something doesn't taste good, tell the truth. It's a way that you can tell the truth and be kind. If somebody has something in their teeth, let them know. Don't be embarrassed for them and let them walk around with spinach on their teeth all day. If you're not happy, if you're not okay, don't say that you are when you're asked. Seriously. When you find yourself in situations that, like, sometimes it's not even so much a thought, it's a feeling. I work with my clients on being triggered and where are you feeling that in your body. Sometimes you get redirected, not even so much by the thought, but it's the feeling. When you get that knot in your stomach, when you start to get warm on the back of your neck, when you get that instant headache because that fear, that worry, that anxiousness, that concern, something is taking you back to a time when you didn't feel sure, to a time when you didn't feel confident. And now you have these defense mechanisms, you have these things that you do to cover up the discomfort, but you're not dealing with it. So the reason why it's important for you to be authentic is because you don't want to be fake. The opposite of genuine is fake. And when you're fake, you get back fake results. So you out here trying to present yourself as someone in your professional career, but you wonder why you keep getting people who are stabbing you in the back and don't necessarily mean you well. You know why? Because you don't mean yourself well. You're not necessarily putting that authenticity out in the world. You're putting out fakeness So fakeness you're going to get back. You're putting out uncertainty you're going to get in return. You're putting out, you know, like my son will say, meh. You putting out lukewarm behavior and you wonder why you get lukewarm back. Like I had to get very real with myself about this in my own life. There are some things that I've been dealing with, some challenges that I've been going through in my own family, in my own personal life, with my own image. Like I talked to y'all about this a couple weeks ago, but when it comes to me working through and build and like really growing and building heart equity, this is not just a play on words for me, y'all. This is a lifestyle. And I've been doing this now for over 10 years. And I have experienced extreme burnout and been on this roller coaster. And there are some bumps and bruises that cut me deeper than I realized. And I feel it's almost like I feel traumatized. It's like you get off one. It's like if I could describe business as a roller coaster, I feel like if I could describe business as an amusement park, and you have amusement parks have all of these different rides, and I have multiple businesses, and I work with and contract with different businesses and different individuals. So if I could describe business as an amusement park, there are some roller coaster rides that I got on and off of that hurt me. Like maybe the jukes and the turns and all of that. Like I did feel a little bit of whiplash. Maybe I did cut myself on the side of the cart, the buggy that I was sitting in on the ride. And I have had to, yes, me, the heart coach who works through our issues, like I have had to realize how much those bumps and bruises, those disappointments, and what I mean by bumps and bruises, and I was hurt on this ride. I got off the ride. Clearly, I'm still alive. Nothing. I didn't get stuck on the ride, but I was injured on the ride. I was traumatized on the ride. So now that I am exploring other rides in the amusement park of life when it comes to business, I realized how much those bruises and bumps on one roller coaster reminded me of disappointments in my past. They reminded me of when I felt inadequate as a teen mother, when I felt like I dropped the ball, when it took me 13 years to get my associate's degree, when I felt like I put my all into something and didn't get the outcome that I was looking for. And I realize now in my business, in my company, the goals that I'm working towards now, it's like my roller coaster is really having trouble going up this first going up the first side of the ride, going up this incline, because it's almost like I'm fearing the drop, the inevitable drop that's going to get there. And it's also like I'm having to overcome the fear of heights because I remember the last time. And see, I believe that when we remember the last time and we don't get clear about the last time, that's why I'm so passionate about my 6-step process, because you're going to always remember the last time, but you have to get to the point where you forgive the last time. Right? You're going to always remember the last time, but you're going to have to get to the point where you can make sense of the last time. And what I realized is that I used to see business, I used to see living and my passion and my purpose as a sprint, because I was trying to protect myself from not being good enough and not ever reaching the mark. I feel like I'm still overcoming that. That's something I'm going to always be working through. It's like not being good enough, not being smart enough, not like, it's like if I am those things, then why is life so hard? But what I realize is that it's not even so much that life is hard. It is about the perspective that I'm seeing life from. And I was cut so bad and I was bruised so bad from the last time I tried to I really have PTSD on this next try. And it's deep, y'all. I've been talking about this for years. And I'm still working. And I'm still progressing. And I'm still putting the show on the radio and making sure that the show is the podcast is being uploaded, and I'm getting on here and going live with y'all, and I'm still launching the Heart Incubator, the 12-week semester that is coming up here soon for those of you that are serious about jump starting and truly transforming your life and going from stuck and unstoppable in your personal life, in your relationships, and in your finances, and truly building wealth in these areas. And I'm having to overcome the sting of when I felt like I didn't make the mark the last time. That's authentic living. It does not mean that, like, I know intellectually that I didn't fail. I know that it's not a loss, it's a lesson. These are things that I know, but I'm being honest, it is taking a lot to overcome that in my heart, because it's attached to so many other things that I didn't reach the mark and didn't quite reach the expectations that I had set on myself. I can't even say that God did it. And this is why it's so important for us to be authentic, because if I can pour out my heart to you and share this to you, and I'm telling you the truth, and I'm still, like, I got clients I'm coaching later on today, and I have some real estate consultations that I'm working on. Like, you can feel inadequate and know better and still make moves and still grow yourself, but you need to be honest and authentic and genuine about how you feel, because the Lord cannot heal what you will not reveal. I'm expressing myself authentically, but I'm not going to let this get me stuck. But it will cause me to get stuck and get, how we say, down. We'll get bogged down in the mud because we keep spinning our wheels in an area that's soft and sensitive, instead of being honest, like, hey, I need help. I'm struggling in this. Like, I have an amazing team that is working with me, that is patient with me. Like, we are making such big strides in what we're doing and communicating with our heart tribe. If you're not on the email list, you want to make sure that you get on the email list. You get weekly motivation and encouragement and uplifting information and just being connected. Like, we're doing amazing, amazing things. And I have to stay focused on that and stay focused on my attentions. But I'm not going to be fake and say, yeah, I still have to overcome those insecurities. Like, I still have to look myself in the mirror and tell myself, girl, you got this, girl. You cute, girl. You can overcome this. You are the head and not the tail. You are above and not beneath. You are a lender and not the borrower. You are good enough. Like, I literally was telling myself that today. You good enough. You are more than good enough. You are loved. You are respected. You are honest. You are honorable. You are a wonderful mother. You're a wonderful wife. You're a wonderful business owner. But most of all, you're a wonderful human being. You were fearfully and wonderfully made. That's as authentic as it's going to get. But I would be remiss if I wasn't sitting here telling you that I don't always feel that way. That's why I have to speak that into myself. But if you're going to be fake and don't tell the truth about how you feel, then don't be surprised when life keeps giving you back what you feel and what you believe, not what you're saying, not the ideal. See, people don't understand that your words do have power, but what you think and what you believe about yourself is just as powerful, if not more. As a man thinketh, so is he. And your thoughts are going to produce your words. But you need to get very clear about what you're believing. And you need to be honest about it. Don't be fake about the fact that you believe that your parents abandoned you, even if you know they did the best you can. But that's the best that they could. But that's still a feeling that you have of abandonment that you need to work through. Because if not, guess what? If you have children, you're going to abandon them indirectly because you never address your abandonment issues. You can get so hyper focused and zeroed in on one area of your life and just leave out the other area. That's what God told me. God was like, okay, you're working really well on the emotional, mental piece. Now I need you to invest more attention to your physical health. Make sure you're eating right. Make sure you're moving and being more active, because I enjoy that too. That's a part of me being authentic. And I stopped moving around. I could say, okay, yeah, life caught up with me and I was busy. But a part of that too was fighting through depression, because there's still some things in my life that I've been struggling with. Like, if I can do so good and I can overcome all of this, why is this thing so stuck in my life? Why does it seem like this relationship, it still won't shift? And the Lord said, you got to go deeper. You got to go deeper and being honest with yourself. Some of this stuff won't make intellectual sense, y'all. But authentic living is just about you keeping it real. It does not even believe that what you, but like I said, there are days that I just feel worthless. I feel like I don't have nothing to give. I have no value to give anybody. I understand that's me going through a low spot and a down spot. But I also have to journal about that. I have to meditate and pray and ask the Lord to lift this, Holy Spirit, lift this feeling off of me, because I know it's not true. But I would do myself a disservice to just try to just act like an ostrich and stick my head in the ground and act like that feeling doesn't exist. That's the disservice. So what about you? What about you? What areas of your life are you being fake that you really need to start being authentic and telling yourself the truth? Are you overeating? Or not even so much that you're not, that you're overeating. Are you eating recklessly? Are you in reckless relationships? Are you connected with people, places, and things that are not serving you, but they're very distracting? They keep you occupied and they keep you busy, so you don't have to focus on you and the discomfort of what you're struggling with in your life right now. What about you? Are you overworking? Are you working so hard to make more money instead of taking the time to invest in why you're not being a good steward over the resources you already have? Because the truth of the matter is, you're more wealthy than you realize. You have a lot more money than you're giving yourself credit for, but are you being a good steward over it? Or have you believed the lie that you've been believing for a long time? Are you still believing the lie that you don't make enough and you don't know how to make enough? Or there are people or circumstances or situations in the way of you making enough? Why are people so fake? Why are you being fake with yourself? This felt really good to get on today and just talk with you. And, I really want to hear from you. Does this conversation resonate with you? Would you like for us to have more conversations like this? I would even love to do these heart talk sessions and have members of our heart tribe come on and converse with me. I would love to talk with you, answer questions, or at least have a dialogue about authentic living, about heart equity, about your life, your heart, your relationships, where you are right now. That's important to me. I feel like a lot of times we assume that people don't want to be bothered, or people don't want you prying in their business. But what I have found is, in an age where we are able to be so connected, like you could be in South Africa, South America, Antarctica, you could be someplace in Europe right now, and we could be, and we're having this discussion, right? But in that same vein, we could be sitting right next to each other, playing on our phones. You looking at yours, I'm looking at mine, and still feel so alone, still feel so disconnected. And I truly believe that when we grow heart equity, it's like growing a garden. It's like these, the more we grow, the better our crop will be, the better our harvest will be, the more nourished we will become. And I would be the first to admit that when I'm not, what I realize, and I'm gonna say this, when I'm not being authentic, I'm inconsistent. When I'm all over the place and not able even to, like, when I'm not being consistent even in connecting with you, my heart tribe, it's usually because I have veered away from being authentic and believing the lie. And I'm trying to present one way but feeling another. And I need you to know that there is no compartmentalization in your life. Like I have said this to many of my clients, and I need you to understand this. Like, you don't have like a personal life and a professional life and a hidden life, a secret life, and then this religious life or this. No, it's all one you, one individual. It's you showing up in every area. Now, you may fragment and try to compartmentalize yourself, and that's not authentic. The best quality of life any of us are ever going to get is the quality where we're putting those authentic ingredients in and getting back a delicious result. And remember, those authentic ingredients usually cost more. They cost more because being fake is cheap and it's expensive to be authentic. But I can tell you, your authenticity lasts longer and it contributes to a better quality of life. And I'm here for it. I'm here to support you with it. I told you we're going live once a week. And I've been doing good with that these last 3 weeks, and we're going to continue to do that. Remember, every week we have a new show on the radio here, the Heartline with Adelaide Brown, Heaven 100.1, every Saturday afternoon between 1:30 and 2. And every Monday, there's a new show that drops in the podcast arena with Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, all that good stuff. And then we also have content here. I do want to encourage you to get on our email list, get connected with us, check out the website. We have a new website, talkheartcoach.com, talkheartcoach.com, and you'll be getting more information about that to come. I did tell you about the Heartcubator semester that's launching in February. If you know that this is your year for less is more in 24, and you know it's time for you to truly live unstoppable, which is your authentic way of living, but you've been stuck, meaning you haven't been keeping it real with yourself, you want to enter the Heartcubator. This 12-week course is life transformational, and I'm really excited about it. I'm excited about what God is doing through me in bringing this, because it is something that I really feel really good about impressing upon other people, the power of how your life transform when you just authentically show up and live. And so make sure you stay connected to the Heart Tribe. Make sure you're on our email list and you're getting our emails that are coming out, because they are very uplifting and very encouraging. And we're reminding you to catch the show live and get that encouragement. And I just want to show up. I want to be as real as I possibly can be, even if that realness means that I have to highlight my imperfections and where I'm falling short, because I don't care who they are. I don't care what kind of filters, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, X, left, right, up, down. I don't even know all the social media things now. I don't care what type of avenues they try to put up for editing and filtering us as human beings. Your superpower is always going to be you being authentic. Authenticity is a superpower, and vulnerability is the ultimate life hack. But being vulnerable is necessary. But in order to be vulnerable, you got to be willing to be authentic. It is really time for you to keep it real. It's time for you to keep it real with yourself. Stop lying to yourself. Forget what everybody else is thinking. This video is about what you think about you, what you feel about you. And so I want to give you an action step. One, I really want y'all to consider this. I'm thinking about doing like an Ask Adelaide segment, and we come on and have heart talk together. What do y'all think about that? Put some comments, inbox me, message me. Those of you that are connected, I'm gonna put the new website, but let me know, like, what do y'all think? I think doing this would be great, especially having people come on and we can have this conversation together. But I just put in the chat the new website for y'all to um, for y'all to check out and go there. But what I would like for you to do is take some time today and just do a heart dump. Do a heart dump. I want you to take some time today and do a heart dump. What is a heart dump? Well, what you're gonna do is you can take a little notepad I got from a realtor info session I got. You could take a notebook like this. If you have a real journal, like I'm really about this stuff, y'all. Like if you have a journal, whatever it is, but I want you to take about 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. You don't have to take a whole 10, but take 5 to 10 minutes. If you have more time, do that. But what I would like for you to do, this is your hard work today. You're going to sit down and journal what you're feeling. That's it. You're going to set the timer on your phone, on your clock, on your computer, on your stove, whatever you have that has a timer. And you're just going to have a heart dump. You're just going to sit down and write. Let the question be, what am I really feeling right now? Journal I'm going to put this so you can have a journal your response for at least 5 minutes. Right until you feel free. Because you're going to feel it. You're going to feel free. You're going to feel light. You're going to feel uplifted. You're going to feel encouraged. And I know this is simple, but I can promise you, like, it is transformational. And and I have it here on the screen, today's hard work. Your prompt is, what am I really feeling right now? Journal your response for at least 5 minutes, right until you feel free. And I say that because you may not feel free until you've been writing for 10, 15, 20 minutes. I'm encouraging you to keep writing. I'm encouraging you to keep moving. I'm encouraging you to keep exploring and going deeper. And full disclosure, I'm going to do that when I finish this live. I'm going to sit down and do a heart dump. And then once I finish the heart dump, I'm going to have my afternoon break, and then I'm going to jump back into the second half of my day. Y'all see, I'm here at my office. I plan to be doing more videos from the office because I'm committed. I have a beautiful office space with a beautiful classroom, beautiful office, private office with just it's so much that I can do that I shall be doing. But it's all about showing up authentically. And that's what I want for you. That's what I want for all of us. Remember, we are growing heart equity. What is heart equity? Personal, relational, financial wealth through authentic living, not being fake. Remember that. And I'm going to say this. You might not even know what that is because you've been so conditioned to what's right and what's wrong and what's good and what's bad. But I'm going to tell you, the more you do these heart dumps, the more you get connected. I talk about the hard work process. I'm going to do another video on that this week. But the more you get connected, which is the first step in my hard work process, you're going to see your life transform. And you will start to feel those layers fall off of you. And it's scary because a lot of times we have no idea who we are when it comes to being real because we've been so conditioned to being fake. Please share this with anyone you think could benefit from it. I love y'all. I'm thankful for y'all. Remember, when you master your heart, you master your life. This is Adelaide Brown, your heart coach, signing out.